Football is played on a green pitch, measuring 105 by 68 metres, and some players spend their entire careers within those lines, never crossing the boundaries they let their ankles do the talking. But some have long forgotten those limits. A story that begins in a humble village, grows in a city, and reaches the hearts of millions. His field isn't just stadiums, it's streets, hospitals, and schools. If geography is destiny, then for someone like him, being just a footballer was never an option. Today, we dive into the inspiring journey of one of the game's most powerful characters, the Egyptian king Mohamed Salah. If you're here for football stories that go beyond the pitch, subscribe and let's begin. Mohamed Salah. To truly grasp what this name means to the people of Egypt, consider this. During the 2018 presidential elections, nearly 1 million Egyptians crossed out the official candidates and wrote Mohamed Salah on their ballots. These votes were, of course, invalid. But had Salah been an official candidate, he would have received more votes than the main opposition. Egypt's Ministry of Education included his story in school textbooks, not just to highlight his success in football, but to present him as a role model for future generations. In 2019, Salah was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world. Among the list of artists, leaders, and entrepreneurs, only 5 athletes made the cut. Salah stood alongside LeBron James, Tiger Woods, Caster Semenya, and Alex Morgan. And today, while he may not rival the pyramids of Giza in size, Salah has become enough of a global icon to attract tourists. His hometown of Nagrig is no longer just a farming village. It's a pilgrimage site for fans who want to trace his footsteps. Many tourists visiting Egypt now take day trips from Cairo just to see the places where Salah grew up, his childhood home, his school, the first club he played for. His image is everywhere in Nagrig. And in Egypt, nearly every child dreams of one day writing a story like his. This is where that story begins. Mohamed Salah was born on June 15, 1992, in Nagrig, a village in the Bassioun district of Egypt. He grew up in a modest farming family. He wasn't particularly fond of school and spent almost all of his time playing football, in the streets, in halls, anywhere he could find space. The story of how he was discovered begins with a futsal match. A scout from the El Mokaloun club had come to watch another player, but was stunned by Salah's pace and potential. The club offered him a spot, and at just 14, he signed his first professional contract. But that's the shiny part of the story. The distance between his village and the El Mokaloun training facility was roughly 100 kilometers. To continue playing, young Salah had to spend 4 hours a day commuting, 2 hours each way. Life has a way of testing our commitment to our dreams. And at 14, the choice is often between growing up or staying a child. In Salah's case, like many others in this world, growing up wasn't a choice, it was a necessity. Each day, he would receive just enough money from his father to cover the commute and a single meal. Between traveling, training, and sleeping, there was barely any time left, and yet he was happy. There was a fire inside him, the kind only those who are truly gifted feel when they play. At the time, Salah was a left-back. He had blistering pace, the kind that made catching him nearly impossible once he took off, but the position limited his potential. Even when he made powerful runs from one end of the pitch to the other, he was often too exhausted to finish the play. One of his youth coaches noticed this and had a simple idea: move him further up the pitch. That one decision changed everything. He quickly became the academy's brightest talent. By 17, he had already broken into the senior squad, and it didn't take long before he secured a regular starting spot. He became one of the most valuable players in both his club and the Egyptian Premier League, an unstoppable force, unless the problem came from off the pitch. In 2010, a wave of political unrest known as the Arab Spring began sweeping across the Middle East and North Africa. In Egypt, it peaked in 2011 with mass protests in Tahrir Square that led to the fall of President Hosni Mubarak after 3 decades in power. Amid this chaos, tragedy struck on February 1, 2012. Following a match between Al Ahly and Al Masry in Port Said, violence erupted in the stands. With security forces overwhelmed, 74 people lost their lives, and hundreds were injured in what would be known as the Port Said Stadium disaster. The event highlighted how political instability had seeped into sports. It led to the indefinite suspension of Egypt's domestic football leagues. For Salah and many other players, it was a time of uncertainty. While most hoped to transfer abroad, their clubs still demanded transfer fees. Some players had to retire early, but Salah had one remaining window of hope, the 2012 London Olympics, where he was selected to represent Egypt's U23 team. This allowed a group of young players to keep training and playing, and during a friendly match against Swiss side FC Basel, a game meant to prepare for the Olympics, Salah's life changed forever. He came on in the second half and scored 2 goals, helping Egypt win 4-3. After the match, Basel's then president Bernhard Häusler said, "I've never seen a footballer this fast in my life." Salah joined Basel for a trial. His talent left no room for doubts. In April 2012, he signed a 4-year contract and began his quiet journey into European football. From Egypt's blazing heat to Switzerland's cold winds. When Mohamed Salah stepped into Europe for the first time at age 20, he experienced cultural shock and literal shivers. It's a familiar story for many African players. Sadio Mane, for instance, went through something similar when he left Senegal for France at 19. Though they hadn't met yet, these two would soon find themselves on a shared path. "One morning, I woke up and saw snow for the first time in my life," Salah recalled. "I didn't know what to wear. I didn't know how to feel." But adjusting to daily life was just part of it. He also had to adapt on the pitch. Training and playing in a climate so different from home was no easy task. Then there was the language barrier. When he first joined Basel, Salah barely spoke English. And in Switzerland, he didn't speak French, German, or Italian, all of which were commonly used. Naturally introverted, he struggled to communicate with teammates and coaches. "The only language we shared," he said, was football. Social life was another challenge. As a devout Muslim, he had a hard time finding places to eat that aligned with his beliefs. He often cooked for himself at home. He didn't drink, and his off-the-pitch habits didn't align with the rest of the team. For the first few months, training sessions were his only form of social interaction. His days followed a strict rhythm: train, eat, sleep, repeat. They say hardship is where greatness is forged, and if it meant tightening his world a little to grow stronger, he was willing to do it. All he needed was a chance, and he worked hard to earn it. His coach at the time, Murat Yakin, had this to say: "He's extremely humble and focused. He doesn't care about anything except football. His hunger to learn is incredible. When he starts scoring regularly, I doubt we'll be able to keep him here." And perhaps that last line was also a subtle critique. For a player blessed with such pace and athleticism, his finishing still needed work, but he improved. He earned his coach's trust and played in 50 official matches in his debut season, scoring 10 goals and helping the team win the league. The next season, he caught the world's attention, particularly after 2 brilliant performances in the Champions League group stage against Chelsea. He scored in both matches. Jose Mourinho later admitted, "Liverpool was about to sign him, but I personally stepped in and convinced him to come to Chelsea." In January 2014, Salah joined the Blues for £11 million. It was his first Premier League experience. What no one, not even Salah himself, realised at the time was that one day he would return to England and become a legend. But for now, he had another adaptation process ahead. If Switzerland was tough, life in England would be even tougher. And science backs this up. Lack of sunlight, especially in winter, can lower serotonin levels and lead to mood swings or even depression. Far from home, under grey skies, in a team full of stars and under the demanding Mourinho, Salah grew quieter. He struggled to find game time. According to Mourinho, he still wasn't ready for the league's physicality and speed. By 2015, with minutes even scarcer, Chelsea sent him on loan to Fiorentina. In just half a season, he helped the club finish 4th in Serie A with a string of impressive performances. But Chelsea had a habit of buying new attacking players every summer. A return to London looked unlikely. Fortunately, his performances had drawn attention in Italy. That summer, Roma became the most serious contender. They signed him on loan with a buy option. Now 23, Salah was no longer a promising talent. He needed to evolve into a consistent performer, and he got lucky. In January 2016, Luciano Spalletti took over as Roma's new head coach. From day one, he treated Salah like a student. Salah was always quick and skillful. He could get into great positions, but his finishing was inconsistent. Spalletti taught him that speed wasn't enough. Sometimes you needed to know when to slow down. "I used to get into great positions, but didn't know how to finish," Salah said. Spalletti helped me improve my end product. The Italian also taught him tactical discipline. Salah was no longer just a speedy winger, he became a complete attacking weapon, and it showed. In the 2015-16 season, he scored 14 league goals, helping Roma finish third. The club activated the buy clause and made the move permanent. It was great news for Roma fans. The bad news? He would only stay one more season. In his second year, Roma went toe-to-toe with Juventus for the title and finished just 4 points behind. They hadn't come that close to the Scudetto since the days of Francesco Totti. Understandably, fans wanted Salah to stay, but that year he reached double figures in both goals and assists. He was named African Player of the Year, a reward for his most complete season yet. And when a player dominates in one of the world's toughest leagues, doors begin to open, even the ones that were previously slammed shut. In the summer of 2017, Salah was headed back to England, this time to build his own kingdom. When Salah returned to the Premier League, a league where he had previously failed to make an impact, the €42 million fee Liverpool paid for him raised more than a few eyebrows. It's even said that Jurgen Klopp initially preferred signing Julian Brandt instead, but sporting director Michael Edwards had been deeply impressed by Salah's performances in Rome and eventually convinced Klopp. We may never know exactly what they expected of him at the start, but at best, they were probably hoping for double-digit goals. What they got was far more than anyone imagined. Klopp himself later admitted, "I didn't expect such a strong start from him. When Salah was at Chelsea, he was like a kid. Now, he's grown both physically and mentally. His confidence has skyrocketed. Perhaps people underestimated his progress because Serie A doesn't get as much spotlight. But regardless of how much he had improved, taking the Premier League by storm in just one season, that was extraordinary." In the 2017-18 season, Mohamed Salah returned to England as a goal machine. He scored 32 league goals, breaking the record for most goals in a single season by a foreign player, surpassing names like Luis Suarez, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Thierry Henry. But it wasn't just Salah who exceeded expectations. That same season, Liverpool knocked out Manchester City and reached the Champions League final. Salah scored 10 goals in 13 matches during the campaign, leading their charge to Kiev. Unfortunately, the final is remembered for two moments of heartbreak, both involving tears. One was Salah's own, after suffering a shoulder injury in a challenge with Sergio Ramos. The other was goalkeeper Loris Karius, whose mistakes cost Liverpool dearly. Despite a dream season, it ended in pain. The injury also affected his form at the 2018 World Cup, his first and so far only appearance in the tournament. Egypt were eliminated in the group stage. He did win his second consecutive African Player of the Year award, a small consolation after such a promising year. If Liverpool was a project in progress, then Salah was the missing attacking piece. With his arrival, Klopp built a front three, Salah, Mane and Firmino, that became one of the most feared in the world. Then came the next piece of the puzzle, defender Virgil van Dijk. And after another painful final this time, it was clear what they lacked: a goalkeeper. The signing of Alisson Becker completed the transformation. Liverpool once again defied expectations, reaching back-to-back Champions League finals, a feat few teams in history have accomplished. Their miraculous comeback against prime Messi's Barcelona in the semi-finals was something only this team could have pulled off. In the final, Salah scored in the second minute. Liverpool never gave up the lead and the trophy returned to Anfield. Next up, the Premier League title they had waited 30 long years for. In the 2019-20 season, Klopp's side dominated, earning 99 points and leaving no room for competition. It's hard to overstate what that meant for the fans and the club. Few of us know what it feels like to wait 3 decades for something. That's why this team, and Salah especially, hold such a special place in the hearts of Liverpool supporters. From the moment he arrived, the Egyptian king became a chant echoing across Anfield. Tens of thousands of fans could be heard singing, "If he scores another few, then I'll be Muslim too." About bringing the title home, Salah said, "It was indescribable. Since I arrived here, I dreamed of winning the Premier League and the Champions League too. People used to ask me, if you had to choose one, which would it be? Now I have both, and it's unbelievable." Yes, he had won the 2 biggest trophies available at club level. But when we look back at Salah's Liverpool career today, it's fair to say he deserved more and was often underrated. Liverpool came agonizingly close to the title on 2 other occasions under Klopp. They lost another Champions League final in 2022, where Real Madrid keeper Thibaut Courtois made 9 saves to win man of the match. In another timeline, this Liverpool side could have had 3 league titles and 3 European Cups. Salah still made history. He became a 3-time Premier League Golden Boot winner. He climbed to 3rd on Liverpool's all-time top scorers list, 5th in Premier League history, over 250 goals and more than 100 assists in a Liverpool shirt. He reached 2 Africa Cup of Nations finals with Egypt. And despite being widely regarded as the continent's best player in recent years, he hasn't won another African Player of the Year award since 2018. As for the Ballon d'Or, he's never even been in the final 3. All this while being the one player who remained consistent as Liverpool's era started to fade. Captain Jordan Henderson left. So did Milner, Wijnaldum and Fabinho. Matip retired, Robertson lost form. Even Van Dijk missed an entire season due to injury. But Salah was always there. The famous front 3 broke apart. Firmino and Mane moved to Saudi Arabia. Salah stayed. Even Klopp, the man who led this revolution, stepped away. Trent Alexander-Arnold, a local lad through and through, has announced he will leave Liverpool at the end of the season. But Salah, still here, the flag-bearer of Liverpool, born not in Merseyside, but in a small Egyptian village called Nagrig. Egypt and England, Nagrig and Liverpool. There are 3,600 kilometers between them, a long stretch of land and sea. But this isn't just about distance. These are 2 completely different worlds, languages, cultures, beliefs. Yet you'll find Salah's face on the walls of both places, and you don't achieve that by simply kicking a football or scoring goals. Jurgen Klopp once said, "What most people don't see, what they don't know, is that his humanity is even greater than his footballing ability." Salah never forgot where he came from. In 2017, he established the Nagrig Charity Association to support his hometown and surrounding areas. He funded the construction of a hospital, a school, an ambulance station, and even a $450,000 water treatment facility. Through partnerships with larger foundations, he helped rural Egyptian children gain access to education and healthcare via technology. During the COVID-19 pandemic, he donated oxygen tanks to the local hospital and provided food assistance to families in need. In 2022, when a fire devastated the Abu Sufyan church in Giza, Salah, a devout Muslim, helped rebuild it. It was a powerful gesture, proving that his compassion extended beyond religion. In a world where most footballers stay silent, Salah raised his voice for Gaza. He posted, "What's clear now is that humanitarian aid to Gaza must be allowed immediately. The people there are in terrible conditions." He supported humanitarian relief organizations with donations for food, healthcare, and essential supplies. "I'm not just a footballer," he said. "I have to inspire the kids in my country." At the Time 100 Gala, where he was named among the world's most influential people, Salah made an unexpected statement. "In the Middle East, we need to change how we treat women. Our women deserve more respect and more freedom." In a region where traditional gender roles are deeply rooted, Salah stood up and followed words with action. He built a girls' education and empowerment center in Nagrig to promote gender equality. Salah doesn't just serve his community back home. He also devotes his spare time to social causes in England, working closely with the LFC Foundation on numerous projects. In 2022, the Sunday Times listed him as the 8th most generous person in the UK, based on donations as a percentage of income. But his support isn't only financial. In 2023, he attended an event with young refugees and shared his personal journey to inspire them. He's often seen leading Liverpool's social responsibility initiatives. Sometimes it's cheering up a young heart patient, other times planting trees in climate awareness campaigns, or visiting local schools to spend time with kids. He doesn't wear a cape or a mask. He's quiet, reserved, but he's still a superhero. In over 750 career appearances, Salah has only received 1 red card, and that was for 2 yellows. He's never been involved in any unsportsmanlike scandal. On and off the field, he's spotless. Turning 33 this summer, Salah isn't as fast as he was when he joined Liverpool 8 years ago, but no one can outrun time. The true greats, however, find ways to adapt. They reshape their game. They build new comfort zones, and sometimes they hit a second peak. Salah, even as his pace declined, sharpened his skills through intelligence. He evolved into something else entirely. The player once known solely for speed and goal scoring is now a complete threat from anywhere on the pitch. He was never selfish, but now his vision has reached new heights. He now punishes opponents with his movement, his passing and his vision, not just goals. He became the full package. In the 2024-25 Premier League season, Salah topped both scoring and playmaking charts, with 29 goals and 18 assists. It's one of the most dominant individual campaigns in league history. These are prime Messi numbers, and Salah is delivering them at 32. He's never come this close to winning the awards he was once denied, not even nominated for. And he won his second Premier League title in April 2025, helping Liverpool seal the league with games to spare. He recently ended contract issues with Liverpool and signed a new 2-year deal. He could have left for the Saudi League, like many others, and earned a massive fortune. But when he signed the deal, he said, "I signed this because I still believe we can win." And as he's always said, money isn't everything. The love he receives from people matters far more. The Egyptian king will be around just a little longer, to score more goals, to lift more trophies, and if it's even possible, to win even more hearts. Because one day, this journey will end, and when it does, what will we remember him for most? If this story was worth your time, make it worth someone else's. Like, share, and stay with us for more.